I'm Brian Houston, and this is my path. The path is not followed, but forged. It is forged with hard work, blood, and tears. My path only goes one direction, and that's forward. There's no turning back, as I am not a quitter. Whatever bump may fall in my way, I will overcome. Because this is my path. This is my path to the UFC.
From Riverdale, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, comes Brian Houston. He was an all-state wrestler, a football standout, and a track star at Tri-Cities High School in East Point, Georgia.
One thing Brian didn't do was flaunt himself. You know, you'll have some athletes who are the star athletes, and they'll be Mr. Popularity per se, and feed off of that. But Brian still just did what he did as far as athletics were concerned, and did what he did in the classroom, and just went about his business.
After high school, he went to Hampton University on a football scholarship. His passion for athletics continued after college. He went on to play for several arena football teams, eventually landing him in Omaha, Nebraska. Brian started training in boxing and mixed martial arts, not expecting much to come from it.
I really never had any goals, to be honest with you. I just started because I needed something to do on the off season for football.
But after losing playing time with the Omaha Beef, he made the commitment to fight full-time.
I think actually what changed everything for him as far as his dedication was the Jeff Sauter fight. Because Jeff Sauter came in at the time undefeated, but he actually just, absolutely dominated him. He slammed him within like 10 seconds of the fight. I'm talking about like, it was bad.
Brian's greatest strength is athleticism. The guy can put his mind to it, he can do it. He's gifted with as far as speed, his strength, very, very talented man. Brian's
skill is unrivaled, yet he's still a very humble person.
You don't see him all on Facebook talking about his training and talking about this and that. You know, he basically saves it for the fight.
I'd say what really bothers me about fighters would just be the lack of humility. It's a glorified job, and a lot of guys lose sight of that and think that, I'm this, I'm that.
He also has a very infectious personality and is loved by everyone that has the pleasure to meet him.
He's got such a great attitude. He's always got a smile when he's in here or outside.
Brian is a fierce athlete, but that comes with its disadvantages. There have been several times in his career when he thought he wouldn't be able to compete anymore. He went through a stretch when he was unable to find fights, self-proclaimed as the best 2-0 fighter out there.
I like to think about it like this. I got two, I'm 2-0. I feel like I'm the best 2-0 fighter in the world. That's saying much, but it's not saying much too. You know, I'm just saying, man, I'm good, I'm confident, dude. If you 2-0 and you want to fight me, I hope you watch tape and then just say, I'm gonna fight this dude. Nah, I hope you watch tape, dog, because if you didn't, man, you're gonna get in here and be like, your eyes gonna be huge. I promise you they're gonna be huge because I'm gonna give you entirely too much stuff to register.
He spent 8 months looking for a fight after a decisive win over Anthony Hurd in October of 2012.
Even though he wasn't able to get opponents off him, he was still in the gym twice a day, every day. His work ethic is unrivaled.
His inability to find fights weighed on him so heavily, he almost gave up on his dream. His persistence paid off, and he found more fights. He faced Todd Meredith and then the tough Jet Jones, both in just a span of 6 weeks. Houston won each match in dramatic fashion, both with stoppages in the first minute. Shortly after his fight with Jet Jones, he got that call that all MMA fighters hope to get in their career.
It's like a draft call. This was different. Football, you know when you're going to get that call, if you're going to get it.
The UFC contacted him to fight in the prelims against Yoel Romero at UFC 164. Romero's original opponent, Derek Brunson, was dealing with an injury. With only 5 weeks to the fight, Brian headed to Utah to see the UFC doctors and then down to New Mexico to train at Greg Jackson's gym, one of the, if not the best gym in the country. After a couple of weeks of training, Brian received bad news from the UFC doctors. They were not going to allow him to fight. They found an abnormality in his CAT scan that showed a frontal brain lesion.
It's been something I've been dealing with since birth. I've had petit mal seizures and grand mal seizures from, I'd say, a very young age up till maybe 5 years ago.
Down but not defeated, Brian pushed forward with his training, confident that he would be cleared to fight in the UFC.
I just understand that it's out of my hands. There's nothing I can do about it. You know, so if there's nothing I can do about it, then I'm going to shoot to the fastest route that I have to getting positive about it.
After several weeks of not knowing, Brian finally heard from his neurologist about his CAT scans.
He told me there's really no reason for me to worry about it. The only time they worry about taking it out was if I hemorrhaged like 3 times. So I'm like, man, if I hemorrhaged 1 time, we're taking that out.
After being cleared by his doctor, Brian got a new opportunity to fight in the UFC. The week after getting cleared, he was contacted by his manager with the opportunity to face the very man he was to replace in UFC 164, Derek Brunson, in UFC's Fight for the Troops. Brian's nerves got the better of him, and he got caught by Derek early in the first round. But it wasn't long before he got another opportunity. This time, he will face his toughest opponent yet, back where it all started, Atlanta, Georgia.